What up, everyone? Welcome back to Financial Education and Business. Today, we're going to be focusing on this new strategic way of getting into the how Bitcoin is getting into the traditional finance, which is very, very interesting, actually. So, Bitcoin has always, it has been public, but not in the public traditional finance industry. And right now, there's one way a lot of these companies are starting to migrate their operations into the traditional finance in a very specific way. This industry right now that I'm going to be talking about it's very nascent, it's not well known, and I think it really has the potential to take over and be a big part of our economy. So there are these investors that are going around and looking for special companies that are trading below their cash value. And what they will do is they would go and buy out the company or take over the operation of the company and then have that company now do a different type of service. Let's say you have a company that does your medical services and you're operating and running it, but then you're valued below your cash value, and another investor will come in, buy your take over the company, change your operation. A lot of companies are seeing the demand for this kind of service and buying Bitcoin. So the earlier you are in this industry, the better price that you can have on average compared to other companies that are going to adopt this strategy later on. We have known one thing. The value of Bitcoin has gone up significantly since 2009, 2008. And so if you bought then, you have a whole bunch of the company. As the value of your Bitcoin goes up and up and up, that means you can use more and more issue more cash to issue more debt out there to buy more Bitcoin. So you just you'll have a low average price. So that means that relieves that company of a lot of risk to the downside. So this is what's going to get a lot of investors to the market to try to capture and hold a lot of Bitcoin, because they think the value is going to keep going up and they want to be able to get in at a low average price. And so this kind of makes that scarcity mindset where Bitcoin, there's only about 21 or 24 million shares out there. So the more of it you have, the less is out there, and the value of Bitcoin just continues to go up. So this strategy this scares forces companies to get into this industry, and now they're doing this Bitcoin reserve strategy. What they will do is they'll buy a whole bunch of Bitcoins and change the company's operations and stuff like that. So there's a couple of examples out there that companies that are doing this exact thing. If you believe that the price of Bitcoin is going to keep going up over the long term, you want to get into this industry, this is one good way to do it. There's a couple companies that do that right now, and one of them is actually this company called NAKA. So their full name is Nakamoto, after Satoshi Nakamoto, kind of a homage to the individual that kind of started the whole thing, the group of people, whoever they are. And so what happened here is there's a company, right? There's a company called Kindly MD. So this company was publicly traded. They offer management and patient-focused services in the medical industry, so related to like pain, PTSD, depression, and so on and so forth, anxiety, right? And so this company was publicly traded, but there was another company that wanted to change that service, and that's Nakamoto. And what they did is they took over that company, they changed the ticker symbol. Now Nakamoto's publicly traded because they bought a company that's publicly traded already. So now the goal of this company, all they're gonna do is buy Bitcoin. If we look at some of the news that's out, they've provided some news right here. They're saying, hey, the ticker symbol has changed to Nakamoto. Kindly used to be Kindly. So right here, Nakamoto, what their goal is. So Nakamoto is a Bitcoin treasury company building a global portfolio of Bitcoin native companies. Nakamoto plans to establish the first publicly traded conglomerate of Bitcoin companies by accumulating Bitcoin in its treasury and by leveraging its treasury to acquire and develop an ecosystem of Bitcoin companies across finance, media, advertising, and more. The company aims to provide commercial and financial infrastructure for the next generation capital markets. For more information, please visit the site. So this is it. So their goal is, we're going to buy Bitcoin. We're going to build out more companies that buy Bitcoin. So if this company is able to manage to buy, Bitcoin, there's gonna be less in the market, and more companies are gonna see that value, and they're gonna do the same thing. So this is becoming a very like a big business, and I think it's gonna really take off. I mean, the stock value of NAKA. Let's see. The stock value of Nakamoto. Let me see. Nakamoto. They used to be KD. They used to be this company, right? So while Kindle was public, right? So the value of their stock, right, 49% a week, 1,300% in a month. This is a company that was selling for $1.77 and gradually went up. They announced they're buying Bitcoin. As you can see, it just took off, and since then it just dipped, and then it's just, I believe this trend is just going to continue on and on and on. The fact that it has the Nakamoto homage and everything else is going to just sell itself to a lot of companies out there already. There's also another company that is kind of getting into this, right? This company is called ASST, right? And so what asset entities, right? So asset entities initially was a company, more of like a media related company. Assets with technology company providing social media marketing and content delivery services across Discord, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Design, develop, and manage server for communication. Discord company offer Discord investment education, entertainment, and marketing services. So as you can see, mostly a social media company. And then they were SPACed, and the company got kind of taken over by another company. And now the company's operation has changed significantly to becoming a Bitcoin reserve. The cool part here is it's always important to see, okay, who the heck is on the team who's acquiring these Bitcoin related, these companies that exist out there for Bitcoin reserve strategy. Well, so asset entities was purchased by Strive. Strive has some big investors. As you can see, Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever that says, is on the team. Vivek Ramaswamy is an entrepreneur and politician who co-founded Strive Asset Management. So according to the surrounding page, it contains Strive Asset Management recently announced merger with asset entities. There's another company, and that does the same thing. They took over another company, and what they do is this is more of a Japanese company that does Bitcoin reserve strategy, and he is on that team. So as you can see, these like high-profile young entrepreneurs are starting to get onto these teams that are very focused on Bitcoin-specific strategies and Bitcoin reserve business. So, which is really cool to see. So you have the individual, that Vivek, who ran for president. You got the president's son, and you have also you have a whole bunch of companies that are out there already in the Bitcoin world, kind of going out here and being part of this Bitcoin reserve strategy, and trying to really scale this this whole business in this whole field of finance. And these are very smaller companies, very low market caps. But in the long term, I mean, if we look at the market cap of this company here, you're gonna see there it's very small, like $150 million market cap, very small. Unlike MSTR, which is a lot. MSTR, that's in the billions, I believe. MSTR's their market cap is about $101 billion. So there is money in the market, right? And MSTR has had great performance. I mean, this company, as you can see, the stock price has increased 119% within year to date, returning a 27% return. And when you zoom out and you look at the 5-year performance, that is insane. I mean, you got a 790% return. Like, how crazy is that? So all in all, it seems like there's room for this market, and it's worth looking at these companies. I mean, if you're interested in buying, the safest bet I would say would be MSTR, MicroStrategies. Besides that, there aren't really too many safe companies to really get into. I mean, you got CleanSpark. So here's this company. They're very much 100% crypto and Bitcoin mining. So CleanSpark operates as a Bitcoin miner in the Americas. It owns and operates data centers that primarily focus on low carbon and low power Bitcoin mining strategy. Its infrastructure supports Bitcoin, digital companies, and tools for financial independence and inclusion. So kind of interesting. The industry overall, I think, has got a long ways to go. And there's still a lot of companies that are kind of like building the business in this industry. CleanSpark itself, like I said, this company isn't big. They're performing decently well. They're focused on providing crypto mining and stuff like that. They're still quite small. Look at their size. They're $2 billion, a little bigger than the last two. Because CleanSpark has more of an operational perspective, like Bitcoin mining, unlike just buying Bitcoin reserve and becoming a Bitcoin reserve, they're a little bit different. But if you're trying to get into the whole, just specifically just Bitcoin reserve companies, MicroStrategies, MSTR, assets, ASST, NAKA, Nakamoto, and also the Meta Planet. Over the long term, I think it's going to be an industry that's going to be growing a lot. So that's it. Look at Meta Planet, Nakamoto, Asset Holding, MSTR, and see what you think. If you think I probably missed a whole bunch of them, there's a ton out there. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like, a thumbs up, share it with somebody that you know. So make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try to continue to post videos whenever I can. For now, that's all I got. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace.